Oh no, what happened? I had to take it all apart. Couldn't get to this seal in the back without taking off the fan shroud or pulling the motor, and I decided that this was probably easier. Since I've had the fan shroud out of here about 8 times, I know how to do it. I'd already gotten the seal around here out, but it probably would have been easier with the fan shroud out of there, so I'll put the new seals in while it's apart. But it's alright because it gives me a chance to check this out here and make sure this isn't leaking or anything, and it's bone dry, the oil cooler is, so that's a good sign. Yeah, so anyway, you can see the heater cables, the heater levers and stuff are right in here. There's one, that one's a little bit shadowed, but the other one's there. So I might work on those a little bit while that's out of the way. It's probably easier to get to it from here than up underneath the car. And make sure that the linkage and everything is working. The cables I think are easier to do from underneath, but the linkages are easier to do from up here, so it's definitely helpful to have the fan out of the way. It's just an extra step I didn't really want to take, but hey, sometimes you got to do stuff like that. But so anyway, we're moving on. I was just giving you guys a little update. Alright guys, I've got the new heater cable started in. It's not all the way in. There's these little friction discs. This one goes on the outside of the cable of the control, and the one that was on the inside of the control is all broken up. So I'm going to have to make something for there. I do have a set of punches. I don't think I got one that goes that big, but you can use a hole saw or something to cut out something. I don't know if I want to use plastic. This is kind of soft plastic, almost like really hard rubber. I'll have to look around and see what I got. Had to take the passenger seat out. That's alright. I don't know if you guys would be able to see up and under here. Actually, I did all the work from underneath. This is where the heater cable comes out, and then this is the linkage that it pulls. And let's see, up in there you can see the linkage working. I lubricated all the joints. This has got grease on it. This is, of course, I oiled. And then up in here it's got grease. And then both ends of that shaft, which one end is right here, and that works the baffle in here. This is a vent to the outside of the car, and the heat comes up through here, and right now with the spring pulled on it, it's pulled this way, and it closes off this duct that goes up to the car, and it allows the heat to blow out here, just to keep somebody says online that they do that because it extracts heat from the engine, but I don't agree with that. I believe the only reason that they blow some heat out here is just to keep the heat exchangers from getting too hot and possibly warping, but I don't know for sure. That would just be my logical guess. And then when the linkage pulls this and it moves that flap, it springs the flap to close this and open the duct to the car. So when you turn the heat on, it closes this and allows the hot air to blow into the car. There's one of these on each side of the car. And the cable Y's up here, right at the beginning, it Y's, and then there's the two separate ends of the little tube that you saw in the back come up and end right here. And then they just go on this cable, or this handle, and pulls the cable. Heat on, heat off. And then this other one, we can let this off. This other cable, this other lever here, works the back cables, and I haven't got into them yet, but it'll be a lot easier with this passenger seat out. I'll pull this seat out all the way, and there's supposed to be a flap in here on each side that allows heat to come out this opening for the rear footwell. And you're supposed to leave that off when you're first starting out, so more heat will run up through here to the defrosters. And then the heat comes into the car in the front, right here, which you can turn on and off by moving that little thing. So obviously if you close that, then all the air will blow up through the defrosters, and and defrost the window. So we're making progress. I'm going to get this cable put back in. Got to make something for those friction discs, because in other words the spring pressure of the flaps in the back will just pull that lever down and the heat will never stay on. So it's got a lock nut that you set the pressure so that it works smooth, but it will hold where you put it. So we're making progress. Alrighty, we got the main heater control cable in, and it works excellent. It's nice and smooth. I used some rigid vinyl sheet that I had to make a spacer to replace the one that was bad. And we got the engine seal in, both of them. The one back here around that tin. You can see a little better over there. And that one I'm pretty sure is right. It just lays on top of there like that. This one I'm not so sure. It seems to fit good like this, but it's got this extra lip on it. Now I tucked it down into the tin, but it didn't seem to fit well that way, so I'm not sure. If anybody knows whether or not you're supposed to tuck that down inside there, it fit all right along through here, but when it gets over to these back in the straight section here, if you push it down in, it kind of just fell away and there was a gap. So I'm going to leave it like this for now because it seems to fit nice and seal off that hole, but I'm not positive that that's correct. So if anybody knows, let me know. But I'm thinking it's going to probably stay like that, at least for now, unless I hear otherwise. So now I have the joy of putting the fan shroud back in. Yay. That's a pain in the neck, but I'm almost an expert at it, so it shouldn't take too long. The hardest part is getting the throttle cable to go through, and then there's a, I don't know if you can see down in there, in that hole, there's a tube that this is in, it's loose. And then there's another tube that's like this. It slides through the fan shroud over the cable, and then this end goes inside that tube that's inside, it's in the car, and it joins it together. It's kind of tricky to get that to line up, but yeah, anyway, we will have a go at it. Well, she's all back together and running, so that's a good thing. And the heat seems to work. Well, there's definitely heat coming out. So, that's a good thing. So tomorrow I'll work on the rear heater controls because they're stuck open, it sounds like. So, and work on the rear heater controls tomorrow morning, and maybe we'll take her for a ride. So anyway, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.